Hello, thanks for stopping by today. If you are interested in the supplies and measurements for today's card, there is a link in the information section below to the blog post with all the information. Today's card uses tasteful touches, and I'm using this image, and my sentiment comes from Well Said, and it is friend. I am also using the Tasteful Labels die, specifically this one. And here's our fabulous card today. Isn't it fun? And I used some more of the Regals Designer Series paper. That's going to be the paper in my upcoming class. So I'm featuring it this week. All right, let's get started. Here's our measurements. You need a shaded spruce card base, and this is actually 5.5 by 7 3/4, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So what happens is you have a peekaboo kind of area there, and this one is going to have to be scored on the back also. Some of the thicker cardstocks have to be scored on the back to stay closed. Then I need a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4, and excuse me, my strip of DSP here is actually the back side of this, so you're not wasting DSP. All right, and let's start our, here it comes. Well, I thought it was. There, I've got it up enough now. No, I don't. Oh my goodness. All right, a little bit more. Now I know I have it because it's stuck to me. All right, so I'm gonna very carefully pull down and up. All right, when you put this on, you're leaving a little tiny edge on the side and your top and bottom. It's really a tiny edge. All right, and don't push it down till you know it's straight. This piece is then going to go on the inside, and what happens is when you close it, that peekaboo's out. So great way to get some interest. All right, let's add our inside piece. There is a trick to this, and I am going to get it. It will not beat me. I'll have to look at some more videos. Okay, now that I've got that on there, let's put this inside, and you're centering it side to side, top to bottom. All right, then we need a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/8 by 5 1/4, and this goes on the front like so, but we're going to add the other side of our DSP to it, and this piece is 3 1/2 by 5 1/8. All right, of course now I've got glue all over this thing. It's really good sticky stuff, but it's driving me crazy because it doesn't stay on the top. Of course, now I can't get anything to work. All right, I'm going to the glue. I was really hoping, I've got to play with that more. Once I get it figured out, I will use it because I think it's less messy than the glue, but you got to get it figured out first. So let me figure it out before you order it. All right, there's that. And then this piece, ooh, knocking everything over, goes on the front. Of your panel. That's a smaller panel, and again there's just a tiny edge showing, so watch how you place it down there. So now we have our card base done. Using that Tasteful Labels die and a scrap of white, cut out your shape. And I'm going to pull in some scrap paper because I'm going to stamp that, and I don't know if I'll go off or not. So now when you stamp this, you want to think about the fact that you're going to have a fairly large flower down here. So you want it, I'm going to make sure I've got it inked up good. Yeah. You want it kind of up some. So you want to stamp it closer that way so that you make sure you get your, it'll show when you put your cutout flower on it. And speaking of the flower, we're going to take the flower and some Flirty Flamingo ink, and we're going to stamp it on the other piece of that scrap. Give it a few seconds to transfer. All right. Close that up so I don't put my finger in it. Actually, what I'm going to take and do is give that a few seconds to dry, and I'm going to take a scrap of white, and this is probably about a half an inch, and the length doesn't matter. And then I'm going to take the word friend, and let me pull my paper back in so I can see. All right. So I have to watch the bottom. I'm watching where it has to be straight. There we go. All right. Now I don't need to stamp anymore. So I'll put that up there. I'm going to pull out my snips, and I'm going to cut this out. And this is an easy cut out. I know some people don't like to fussy cut, but all you're going to do is you're going to cut around your image, leaving a little border. That gives you a better look than if you cut on the lines, because if you make a mistake and some, like this line is really thin, there wouldn't be anything there and it just wouldn't look right. So leave yourself a little tiny border all the way around. And see, if you cut on that line, there wouldn't be anything there either. So keep that in mind when you're cutting things out. Give yourself a little border so that you can take and have the whole image in there. All right, here we go. All right, almost done. See, this one's not a hard one to cut out. Thank heavens. Okay, now we need some dimensionals. So this goes on in the center, but you don't want to put any dimensionals over here, because if not, it'll stick to your card. So kind of use those as a guide and keep your dimensionals below that area, and you'll have a nice piece. Oh, and they all came off. Isn't that always the way it happens? Now I've got them stuck all over my fingers. All right, so there's that. And then I would suggest you add another one or two in the center just for support. So when it goes through that machine, it doesn't crush it. And then you're going to take your backs off. Use your pokey tool, save your fingernails. Paper is very hard on your fingernails. And I don't know if you're like me, but you're always picking stuff and everything with it, and that's not good. Okay, so we're going to put this down, and I'm watching my corners here because those have to stay inside that card front. And I'm kind of looking side to side. So there we've got it. Now, this is also going to go on with dimensionals, but down here, you need to put 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 right there. And then I know I can put 1 at the other places. So you're stacking them so you get, because this is on dimensionals, if you didn't stack it, it wouldn't lay right. It would buckle. So just add another dimensional over top, or don't put anything there. Doesn't matter. All right. 1 more there, and 1 in the center. All right, and now I'm going to take my backs off of this. I thought it was a great way to highlight the front and the back of the paper, to cut a panel off the front of the card. All the backs are sticking to me. So you have, you can showcase both sides. All right, and this is going to go down here, and I'm watching where that one double is, like so. Now, this one, you want to flag the end of that one side. So I'm pulling out my favorite punch here, and I'm just going to flag the ends like so. And then this end I'm going to cut off. So I'm going to pull off my snips because it's going to be hidden up underneath. And it's going to go on with a glue dot. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of this. And then I'm going to shove it up under there so that you can't see the beginning. And now the only thing we have left are our rhinestones. So I'm going to use some small rhinestones because I have a ton of those. And I'm going to put them on there. And then if you have some of these that we used to sell that have the strips, just cut up between the rhinestones. And then you can use them as singles. You don't have to use them as strips. And there we have it. And don't forget, decorate the inside and the envelope. Just gives your project a finished look. If you've enjoyed today's video, would you please give it a thumbs up, which is a like on YouTube. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Click the button below. And if you want to be notified when I upload a video, click the bell next to the subscribe button. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope I inspired you with today's creation.